Hey YouTube, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm very excited to be taking a look at this, which is the Doctor Who Ruins of Skaro collector's figure set by Character Options. This is the Character Online exclusive of 2024, and yeah, I'd say this is a massive improvement to last year and the year before. In fact, I'd say this is the best online exclusive we've had so far. So if you can't tell by my enthusiasm, I'm really excited for this set. So great to be doing reviews again, and really happy I could kickstart off with a Character Online exclusive, which coincidentally enough was the first thing I ever reviewed on my channel. It was the Second Doctor and Abominable Snowman TARDIS. So every now and then Character Online do these online exclusives to their website. Most of the Doctor Who figures are found exclusive to B&M, or at least the classic Doctor Who ones, the figures that I collect. But once, maybe even twice a year, they will do these online exclusive sets. And yeah, usually they are a bit more pricey, and this one is no exception, but I'll get onto that later. So first of all, taking a look at the wonderful new packaging, I massively prefer this to the packaging that's been used for the past 5 years, that horrible silver and blue, which is very difficult to spot. This one just sticks out a lot more, which I really like. You've got the diamond logo, Ruins of Skaro collector's figure set, Character Online exclusive, and it shows you the era of the Doctor that it's from, featuring 2 Mavellan warriors and 1 Dalek with bombs, because you can't call it the other word because that's dangerous now. So turning the box around, there's a lot of descriptions about the story. If you guys want to pause so you can read that, I personally don't read them that often, but it's nice that they include them. And they've also included a very nice promotional image with a nice backdrop. That's really good. Very nice to see that. And something that's really cool about this set is we once again have dioramas. Unfortunately, Character had stopped doing that, so it's nice to see them doing it again here. But without any more fuss, let's get these figures out of the box. So before we get into the figures, we'll take a look at the really awesome diorama. So this is a diorama of the inside of the Mavellan spaceship, which can be seen in the story Destiny of the Daleks. A very great story. Highly recommend you go watch that if you haven't already. Yeah, it's really nice. It's got some very nice detail, even footprints and scuffs on the really shiny floor. You've got all details of little controls and switches, very retro, very 70s. Unfortunately, a little bit blurry in some areas, but you know, that's to be expected when you're kind of taking all this from you stuff, and also some creative license as well. You've got this screen here which is talking about a Dalek. You've got the Mavellan spaceship on monitor up there, and then you have this, which is actually an edited photo by Character, but it's based on something similar that you do actually see in the story when the Mavellans are scanning Davros, which is really cool. It's a nice attention to detail, and I really do love it when Alduar includes these, because, you know, it's nice to have your figures in, and it just makes the set feel a lot more premium. So it's really nice that they took the time to add this, and I really hope that we can have these in the B&M sets once again. So I think we're going to start off with the Dalek, as I'd say that is the most standard of the 3 figures, and this is a variant of Dalek that I and many others have wanted for a long time. The original was only ever released in 1 set, and that was the 4th Doctor Adventure set way back in, I think it was 2010, it may have even been 2009. So this is a very sought after variant of Dalek, and the prices it was going for on eBay is just impossible. So it's really great to have an updated version of this. Now, it's your usual Dalek articulation. It's everything you guys have come to expect. 3 wheels on the bottom, one of them rotates. You have a full 360 on the dome, up and down on the eye, ball joints on both of the arms. Very standard, but you know, that's all Daleks are, so that's to be expected. The bombs are very nice. They've attached them not symmetrically, which is nice, which gives them this kind of you know, sort of rushed look, which I really like. On the original, they were quite symmetrical, but I kind of like how they're all over the place here. Just makes it a bit different. Now, I'm actually going to bring in the other Daleks from the original Destiny set. So we have this one and this one. just to kind of compare for you guys. So, for those of you who don't know, every single Dalek prop in Destiny of the Daleks is different. It's actually unique, and I'll explain why I brought him in a moment. So, every prop in Destiny is different. No Dalek looks the same. So, I know there's going to be a couple of people who might want to army build this guy, but I would advise that you don't, and the reason for that is simply because, you know, unless you want to do some customizing, the Daleks won't look right because everyone is different. So we currently have about 4 of the 7 props, I believe, but I'm not a prop expert. I just know that there is some difference between them. And I always was fascinated as a kid watching it, you know, just being able to spot all those little differences. And that just made it really, really cool. So in terms of paint scheme, it's exactly the same as its counterparts from the B&M exclusive set last year, which is really nice. Sadly, they seem to have skipped out on giving the hemispheres that sort of silver brushing, just to make it look a bit weathered, but that's not too big of a deal, to be honest. Overall, this is a really, really nice Dalek, and one thing I will say is that on mine, anyway, and my friends, the eye lens has been painted perfectly, which is, if I just get it to focus... There we are. So the eye lens has been painted perfectly, and maybe that's because of the increased price, which I'll get onto shortly, but that is really, really nice. That's great to see. So, as I was saying, with all props being different, even though this Dalek came in the Genesis set, I do like to put him here because I view this one as the Commander Dalek. He was a darker grey, and that's because he was reused from Genesis. So when you put all of the Daleks together like this, you get a very, very nice little Destiny display. I would love, and I hope you're listening, Aljuar, I would love a David Goodison Davros with his little device thing, because, you know, the original Destiny set is so hard to get hold of and it's very expensive. So, you know, we did get a re-release of the Michael Wisher Davros. I hope we get re-releases of all the Davros, because for fans like myself who came into collecting a bit later, you know, those sets are very difficult to get. So it's great that we have this Dalek. I think if we had Davros and an updated Destiny of the Daleks 4th Doctor, along with the Movellans, which I'll get onto in just a moment, you know, we would have a perfect Destiny of the Daleks display. So let's make it happen, character. Okay, guys, so now taking a look at the Movellans, the figures, which I'm sure everyone is getting this set for, or at least I am. So, yeah, these are great. In fact, I don't really think there's much else to say. They are absolutely brilliant. As far as I can tell, there is little to no part reuse here. I'm sure there might be some debate over that. I can't find any that I can see. Everything seems to be brand new. The costume from the show has just been so wonderfully recreated. I understand that these aren't going to be everyone's cup of tea, but, you know, from that era of sci-fi, they just look so from that era, and the sculpting is absolutely fantastic. From the funny wigs that they have, that's been painted in the very nice grey with the silver tips, and then given a dark wash just to highlight those details. Really nicely painted faces. There has been some complaining that they're not painting the plastic. This is just sculpted plastic, and it makes them look kind of, you know, shiny. I do see where they're coming from, but honestly, I don't think it affects these figures that much. I actually think it kind of works in their favor. I don't want it to be the case with every Doctor Who figure, but I think in the case of these, it actually does work. So I'm okay with that. You've got all the nice patterns and details been recreated on this part of the costume. And what's really nice is the leg area and also the chest has got this really kind of like silk look to it, which is really nice. It's nice and shiny, got all the silver areas, and then down to the boots you've even got like a sort of yellowish dry brushing, because Skaro was filmed in a quarry that was quite sandy, so that's a nice attention to detail. You've got their little devices that I think it's their power sources, which unfortunately you can't remove. That would have been cool. They are glued on there. You could break yours off if you want to, but personally I wouldn't, because you'll probably take the paint with it. And yeah, even the hands I think are newly sculpted, because they seem to have sort of sharper fingers, which I can't see on any of the companions. But I can't say for sure, but they look newly sculpted to me. And you've even got the little things on their shoulders, which were actually glow sticks, and they've been painted in a very nice highlight green. They are exactly the same body. Some people have said they're exactly the same head sculpt, and I don't think that's the case. I think her face is a bit more rounder, whereas hers is a bit more thing. I don't know. I definitely think they're different sculpts. Oh yes, you can definitely tell when you put them on the side. So no, they aren't just reusing the same body and then painting them a different skin color. No, they are individually sculpted head sculpts, which is really nice. So yeah, here's just a comparison. This one I like to think is Geller, the one who gets crushed but isn't dead. I don't want to spoil much. And this is the one that rescues the Doctor from a Dalek, but then tries to imprison him. And then they take. She's the first to have her power source taken. I think that's who it's meant to be, but that's just speculation. So when it comes to articulation, they're both exactly the same because they share the same body. So you can move the head from side to side quite well, actually. The hair doesn't restrict it. You've got a full rotation at the top. You can bring them out to about 45 degrees, but you don't want to bring them too far because you might damage this little bit here. You have rotation at the biceps. You can bring the arms only to 45 degrees. Now, Alduar explained why he did this. He didn't want to ruin the good look of the costume with the sculpting. Personally, I wish he had just given the full 90-degree bend. For me, because, I would like to pose them in certain ways, but at the same time, I do respect that, having a nice figure on the shelf with not very revealing joints is really nice. You also do have a rotation there as well, and a rotation at the hand. There is no rotation at the waist, so this is all one solid piece, which I kind of understand. With the legs, you can bring them out to the side if you want to, as well as kick forward and ever so slightly back, but not far. You have a rotation at the top of the leg and also a 90-degree bend at the knee. Unfortunately, no boot articulation, which can make them a little tricky to stand at times. You do have to kind of get the balance right. But overall, really good. I really don't have much negativity to say about them at all, and what really is the icing on the cake for these figures is their accessories, which is their Movellan blasters, which you can also see printed on the diorama there. Now, what's really cool about these is you can have them on the hands, like so. Hopefully I get this on my first go. The hands are quite rubbery, so you don't have to worry about scratching any paint off. You just wriggle it in there till it holds it, and then, like I say, you can pose them holding it. Now, like I say, this does cause a few issues in the fact that they can't bend their arms very well, but you can get them in a gun pointing pose. It just might take a bit of adjusting to get it looking good. So that's really cool. I do really like that. And another cool thing you can do is with this little peg on the belt, you can actually slot the gun onto the belt and it holds there really well. So that's really cool. I really love that they give you that option. Overall, I'm a big fan of these figures, and I think Character have absolutely excelled at this one. And just a big thank you to Alduar for giving us these, because they're absolutely fantastic. This is the first time I've really been excited for a Doctor Who figure release in quite some time. So, yeah, absolutely brilliant. So overall, what do I think of the figure set? Absolutely love it. A solid 9 out of 10 for me. And some of you guys might think, oh, that's a little bit generous. But no, I honestly do love it. It is a shame that maybe we didn't get the Movellan Captain, but we never know, guys. That could be on the table for a future set. We can always hope. But I'm just very happy to have Movellans. I honestly think their look is going to stand out very much on the shelf. Really happy to have a Bomber Dalek. I think it's something I've wanted in the collection for such a long time, and I'm just really happy to have it. Also, forgot to mention that There is a slight difference with the slats on this Dalek. So if we bring in this one, this is the updated slats. They're quite thicker. They have gone back to the originals, and I simply think that's because the original is better suited to the bombs. Maybe they couldn't retool this one to have the bombs stick to it. So honestly, it's a small thing, and it really doesn't bother me, to be honest. I'm just so happy to have this Dalek. I love the updates that character have done to the paint and the eye stalk and all those little things. Just makes it so much better. Now I don't need the original version because I have this. Brilliant. And yeah, these Mavellan figures, like I say, very few negative things to say about them. It is a shame that their arm articulation is restricted, but like I say, I can understand and respect that he didn't want to ruin the look of the figure, and it's nice that they've gone out of their way to, make them look as nice and as neat as possible. Now, the one thing I do need to address before I wrap this up is the price of $39.99. As much as I love this set, I do think that is pushing it just a little bit. I would say £30, this set would have been 10 out of 10. £35, yeah, I could understand that. £40, I can understand if a lot of you might think that that is a little bit much, but, I do think this is an amazing set, and if you guys can spare that, I would definitely go out and get this. I do believe it is still available on Character's website at the time of making this video, at least. So go onto the site if you haven't got it yet and try and snatch up yours. But as I said, this was quite a limited set. Then again, there have been sets that have come out on Character that were limited that are still up there even today, and they came out years ago. So go on, try and get a set for yourself, guys. This is absolutely brilliant. If you're someone like me who really just doesn't like the new series of Doctor Who anymore, it's wonderful that they're still doing these classic Who sets for us older fans to enjoy. So that's absolutely brilliant. So overall, really great set, guys. Absolutely love it. Thanks so much, guys, for tuning into this review. I'm really happy to be back on YouTube making reviews again. Hope you're all safe and happy wherever you are in the world, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Bye bye.